Sandals is at the forefront of innovation.
They'll try and be first, they have a desire to be first.
Our repeat factor to this day is the single highest anywhere in the region.
Customers coming back to our resorts is what it's about.
It's like heaven on earth. That's how I felt the Sandals experience was for me, heaven on earth.
It doesn't feel like a normal company, it feels more like a family.
Quality, reliability and distinction, three factors that make up a super brand, seem to be three factors that Sandals have in abundance.
Our basic philosophy: provide more than the guest expects. We started in 1981. Jamaica had gone through a rough time in the 1970s. There were a number of hotels that were available at good prices. I'd seen the Bay Rock, which is now was the first Sandals, spent more money fixing it than we paid for it. Then there was nobody in the resort, so we lost a lot of money again. But then we learned. It was exciting. I was afraid. One thing led to another. We experimented with everything. Bedrooms, tried to make them bigger and better. Food, better. The excitement, but most of all, the people.
In its sector, the travel industry, very few brands make it as a super brand.
At the luxury end of the market, all-inclusive is unusual. And that's a little bit of a dichotomy, because you've got a kind of hangover of if it's all-inclusive, then perhaps it isn't that upmarket. And that is something that Sandals has certainly in the UK had to work quite hard to overcome, but I think they've managed it. That's why they're making progress where so many other people are in trouble.
Brands that can build emotional value into their brand name, and it can provide that added value experience of the brands that are clearly standing out from the competition and gaining kind of market share. And I think in Sandals' case, they've continually invested in ideas and concepts that they deliver to the consumer, sometimes as a surprise, something you don't expect, even though you're expecting to get a great premium service. You turn up and think, I've got a little bit more. And I think that's what builds loyalty between consumer and brand, but also I think it keeps them, at the forefront of the market.
Sandals is for two people in love. Beaches, primarily, it's for families.
It's very important when you rely on repeat customers that you're offering different experiences. Every one of our resorts has a different DNA, and people want to either go back to a tried and tested resort, or they'd like to try something different. So I think that's why we've been successful.
There has been a recognition of the power of partnerships with other credible brands, particularly content brands. And that's a shift I think that a lot of good marketeers have made in the last few years, to recognise where they can add value to the customer experience by accessing those extra things, that added value.
As a child, I always said I wanted to get married on a beach. One day I just started to sing that song. I'm not going to sing it, the Time of Your Life song. We saw the writing on the wall as we felt this magical fantasy. And then he said, why don't we try Sandals? I was able to just mainly relax. And it's just a whole different atmosphere. It's like heaven on earth. That's how I felt.
Each of these brands are very important that we work with, as I say, from an educational perspective, from a holiday experience perspective, but also to align the brand as we move forward.
Beaches and a Grill in Jamaica. I've been there with my family, and both my son and daughter still swear that that was the best holiday that they've ever had. Soft ice cream on tap was a new experience for them, and I'm amazed they didn't burst, as was unlimited free rum and cocktails at the bar, and I'm amazed I didn't burst.
Holiday experiences can often be very similar year after year. They stay ahead of the curve in terms of product innovation.
Over the last 30 years, we've had many firsts. First, a resort to have hairdryers and all-inclusives within the Caribbean, to have swim-up bars, first in delivering butlers into the Caribbean. The dive program now is the most amazing dive program within the Caribbean. We're going to be having overwater bungalows in St. Lucia.
At every level, the attention to detail and the motivation of this group of people is wonderful to behold.
I couldn't reel off all the accolades we received. The most important is obviously the customers. If you just look at the repeats and booking levels that we're getting, more and more people are coming back to stay in our resorts. That is more important than any accolade that an industry body can give us. As part of the Sandals Foundation, we've been helping the local people, educating them, improving their dental care. All our resorts are Green Globe certified.
For consumers to feel that their brand of choice is taking a responsible and a proactive approach to the region that they operate in is very important, and I think something that makes you kind of gravitate towards that brand perhaps more than other brands.
Going back to the beginning, our basic philosophy, provide more than the guest expects. And I think we deliver that every day of life.